It feels like a lifetime ago when we first heard Johnny Silverhand / Keanu Reeves, the two synonymous now and you can't change my mind, utter those words. Wake up, samurai. You didn't know precisely why or how, but it was clear that Night City had to burn. And burn it did, thanks to a controversial launch by CD Projekt RED that also led to one of the most significant redemption stories in gaming. In September of 2023, it felt like that story had come full circle. Update 2.0 fully revamped the game, allowing it to achieve its potential in every way. And Phantom Liberty delivered a stellar narrative with an unimaginable yet fitting narrative catharsis. CD Projekt RED got their win, finished their story, so on and so forth. Roll the credits. Except, it didn't. Granted, supporting a game for almost 3 years after launch was already notable, but it's now April of 2026, and Cyberpunk 2077 has finally received PS5 Pro support. You know, the same feature that the developer said there were no plans for back in 2024.
Join us after the break. Military 3 of ours.
Mr. Jenkins asked for
Hey, V.
He's in his office.
It's been ages.
Emergency protocols active. System security confirmed.
The best part about this update isn't that it supports the regular PSSR for dynamic 4K. No, this is the upgraded PSSR, which offers better image quality. It could have stopped there, but it went even further and implemented 8-way bounding volume hierarchy to further improve the ray trace lighting, reflections, and shadows. That's on top of variable rate shading, and improved ray tracing cache and object queries. Which probably would have been enough on its own, but it also went a step further and added 3 different modes. You can opt for performance mode if a higher frame rate is more important, except now it can run at up to 90 frames per second on displays with variable refresh rate support. Ray tracing mode delivers only 60 FPS, but ensures ray tracing for all shadows. Ray trace reflections are available with transparent objects and vehicle paint. However, if you want the full Night City experience, then Ray Tracing Pro mode it is. Alongside everything else, you get ray-traced ambient occlusion, emissive lighting, and skylights at 40 frames per second on high refresh rate monitors. Even if you don't have the latter, hitting 30 FPS with such fidelity and image quality is pretty impressive. I know, there's no New Game Plus, no third-person perspective, and nothing for other platform holders to really latch onto. It's a bummer, but the fact that CD Projekt RED is still supporting Cyberpunk 2077 to this extent is insane. You could argue that it's because this is their highest revenue earner, and you would absolutely be right. With over 35 million copies sold as of November 2025, even reaching that milestone faster than The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt, it achieved those sales even without giving anyone any reason to believe that PS5 Pro support was on the way. Even if adding support did nothing to boost sales, it recognized that it's a feature that a subset of players, however small, wanted for a long time, and set about delivering something it never promised.
As long as we work together.
Furthermore, despite the game still selling extremely well, it's removing any barriers to entry. Last year, Cyberpunk 2077 was added to PlayStation Plus Extra / Premium's game catalog. Last month, it debuted for Game Pass Ultimate and Premium, allowing even more players to carve out their legend in Night City. Even when it released the Nintendo Switch 2 version last year, it didn't simply port the Ultimate Edition over and call it a day. It delivered solid performance in both handheld and docked modes while adding motion controls, Joy-Con 2 mouse support, gyroscopic aiming, cross-saves, and even touchscreen support for the menus. If that wasn't enough, the entire base game and Phantom Liberty shipped on a cartridge rather than a game key card. You bought it, you owned it, no additional shenanigans. Then again, all of this, the PS5 Pro update, Game Pass, and PS Plus release and Switch 2 edition, is just born from a love for the game and the players who brought them to the dance. It's one of the reasons why CD Projekt RED continued releasing new updates even after dropping the biggest yet. Features like the Metro system, listening to radio stations on foot, replayable car races, gangs that actively pursue you in the open world if you annoy them enough, vehicle paint jobs, brand new vehicles, an overhauled photo mode, auto drive, things that you'd otherwise take for granted. Did it have to add all this and more in, even roping in Virtuos? No, but it went ahead anyway and made it all free. Given everything that happened at launch, the lying, the deception, the disappointment, even when the game had several excellent qualities that held up over the years, it's understandable to be cynical about CD Projekt RED. There are still many people who won't quote-unquote forgive the developer for what happened, and no amount of support will get them to change their minds. But that doesn't change the fact that the team put their hearts and souls into this game, and then a little extra on top for more than 5 years. There was no guarantee that all of this would recoup any goodwill, much less build excitement for the studio's next projects, The Witcher 4 and Project Orion, aka Cyberpunk 2. Look at the sheer number of titles that are cancelled month in and month out, despite pouring years and millions into the drain, never mind those that can't even make it to market. And yet, here we are, with currently an 88% very positive rating on Steam, 94% if you consider the recent reviews, a presence that works hand in hand with transmedia like Edgerunners, and near universal acclaim by those whose story in Night City changed them in ways they could never imagine. It gives new meaning to the phrase City of Legends, even if the megacorps run rampant, making people's lives miserable, or crime is at an all-time high, or consumerism has led to all kinds of brand new societal nightmares. Even if it seems Johnny is right about dropping just one more nuke, it all comes together in a way where the player, and their encounters with everyone else, really mattered. Of course, nothing says that CD Projekt RED has to stop there. With plans to scale its teams to over 450 developers by 2027 for Cyberpunk 2, there's still plenty of room for additional updates and support. If The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt can supposedly receive that long-rumored free DLC, especially with The Witcher 4 next up on the developer's release docket, then there's nothing that says it can't return to 2077. Maybe it's a new tactic, using its existing games to hype up their sequels and making some money in the process. Since the PS5 Pro update is finally here, perhaps that bit about no plans for additional DLCs or expansions won't hold water for much longer. We can't really say for sure until it happens. Until then, we're returning to Night City, slightly older, perhaps slightly wiser, with fond memories and a drive to make new ones. Because if the City of Dreams has proven anything for fans, it's that some legends will never fade away. Hey, did you know that we at GamingBolt upload new videos every day? Stick around, drop a like, subscribe, and hit that bell. And let us know what kind of content you'd like to see in the future with a comment below.